right, welcome back to the channel. Here it is, the first recording of 2024. Today is January 3rd, I believe. Yep. Almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And the next step on this project, restoration, build, whatever you want to call it, is we're going to start wiring. So real briefly here, I know you guys maybe follow on Instagram, maybe some don't, with the firewall kits that I offer. I also offer this little setup to relocate the bulkhead. So we're relocating the bulkhead to the fresh air vent on the driver's side. So it's not going to be on the firewall. So you do have to carve out your fresh air vent a little bit. Obviously you're going to lose that function, but I'm not worried about that. And we did take a little bit of sheet metal out up top to allow for all these wires. So what it is there's a sheet metal plate on the back side of this fresh air vent that this bulkhead is bolted to. And then on the other side is all the wires coming out for the front end. Engine wires, headlight wires, turn signals, bright lights, horn, fan, I think. Just basically everything from the firewall forward. Unfortunately, with the American Autowire kit, when you're doing an LS or an LT swap or anything like that, you're not going to use a lot of the engine wires because it's all run by the computer. So we're going to have to either chop those off or take the bulkhead back out and kind of pull them out. We'll get to that bridge whenever we cross. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. What we're focusing on for this segment is the rear body harness back. Okay, so where we left off, we got the door panels on. We got our wires ran for our spotlights. We're just going to throw some loom over them and tuck them away like that. And from the rear harness, so basically power seat, convertible top, courtesy lights that are in the rear armrests, and then tail lights, brake lights, reverse lights, license plate lights, turn signals. Okay, so I got the trunk cleaned out. Actually, this is the only container left of boxes, so we're doing good. So over the last few days, I just pulled the wires. They're just kind of laying there right now to sort through. So I got everything sorted out here. The first thing to note is the part number, 510217, 5960 Chevy Impala, American Autowire Classic Update. Comes with 3 instructions. 59 Bel Air, scratch that. 60 Bel Air, scratch that. We want the 60 Impala. Okay. So this is kind of 3 kits in one that they cover with 3 different years. I also have this convertible top. That is part number 510225. And that's sold, online, but the thing that I kind of struggled with online was I couldn't find a picture of the thing. They advertise it, they have a listing, but there's no picture. So that's what it looks like. And it plugs directly into the convertible top. And then I believe it's going to plug into an accessory connector up by the kick panel, I'm assuming. Okay, so like I say, rear body harness is first. We're going to work from the back of the car forward. The way I like to do this, I've done a couple cars, I have a couple videos, but they're probably not as detailed as I would like to get this one. I really want to get this one step by step for you guys. But essentially you're following instructions. The instructions are word for word on how this stuff should be ran. An important thing to note is you need the correct crimpers, okay? You don't have to necessarily buy the American Autowire crimpers. You can buy other brands as long as they're automotive grade and they look like this. So this is a single wire crimp. It's made to crimp 1 wire in a single wire crimp terminal. This is a double wire crimp. You see it's twice as big. It's made to crimp 2 wires into a double. So that's important to note because you're going to be jumping wires across the back end for the brake lights and the parking lights. Okay. They give plenty of wire for the dome lights. So what we're going to do, instead of running a dome light, obviously because it's convertible, we're going to use this to run to the courtesy lights in the rear armrests. So we're going to get to that. What I like to do, my method to this madness is, it can be overwhelming, but it does come with step-by-step instructions. So if you follow those step-by-step instructions to a T, this is not hard at all, okay? First thing I like to do is you got to have a clean work area. Okay, you definitely want to do this sober. What I like to do is I lay out all my connectors. This all came in a bag. It's all in one bag. I lay them all out exactly how they are on the diagram. So up here we have our light sockets with the green and brown, the yellow brown. This is the single wire crimp terminal. Like I said, this was going to go with the yellow crimper, single wire crimper. Then we have the double. You can notice the difference. That's made, the one on the right is made to fit 2 wires. The one on the left is for 1 wire. So for the 2-wire crimp, we're going to be using the 2-wire crimp tool. Okay, and these are the terminals in which these are the, I should say, the plastic sockets, I guess you can call them, that the terminals are going to fit into. They're going to pop into. Okay, so moving on down the line, we have our green sockets, we have our brown sockets, and then we have our single wire. I call this a spade. I don't know the proper name, but that's single wire. This is double wire. These are kind of hard to distinguish. They're almost the same, except you can see that this one has like a little, 2 little tails on it. So single wire, double wire. Another one of these for these to slide into. We have our grommet. I would assume this is for gas tank sender, and this would be for the end of the gas tank, if I had to guess. It doesn't say. But and then these down here, I would assume they're for courtesy lamp, but we'll get to it. We'll get to that bridge when we cross that bridge when we get there. All right, so now that we got everything sorted, we just start with the instructions. It's going to say third brake light. So you have your light blue third brake light. Let me move you over here. Light blue third brake light. Tan fuel sender. A lot of this stuff is kind of universal through the years. 64 is going to have a tan one for the fuel sender also. Brown, running lamps or tail lights. Yellow is left hand brake light. Yellow, which that corresponds with these plugs right here. Dark green is the opposite, right hand. Light green, reverse. White is the courtesy. Orange is also the courtesy. That's pretty much it. It's actually really simple. On my car, I may or may not run a third brake light. I thought about maybe incorporating something in the Continental kit. So I'm gonna go ahead and run that wire to this back area here, and then also a license plate light, which I didn't see a note. Oh, a new license lamp has been included. Okay, so we'll get to that. All right, so we've established what we need to do. You run your wires from the back. So let me get set up, and we're gonna start crimping our first crimps. All right, before we get too deep into this rear body harness, I wanted to do a video explaining the double crimp and the single crimp. Okay, so what we have here is just 3 scrap wires. They've already been stripped, and that's about as much as you want to strip them. Hopefully the camera picks that up. We have a double wire crimp, single wire crimp. Hopefully the camera picks this up. You can see the difference. Double, single, it's twice as big. And then we have a connector. So that's the basic terminology in the instructions that comes with. Terminal, connector. And these connectors can slide into the terminal whether it's a single or a double crimp. As you can see, the end is the same. It's just where the wires go. So real basic. And you can see it has a little tab right there. So that tab is going to correlate with the way that's shaped. And it just goes in. It'll snap in. Same thing with this one. It'll snap in. So let's show the single crimp. So you have double and single crimp tool. This is single crimp. This is double crimp. Okay. So what I've noticed with these kits is you have to kind of bend the little ears in just a hair. So you just squeeze it just a hair, both of them. And then you take your wire, and all you want to crimp is the wire. You don't want to crimp the plastic sheath or whatever. So you're going to put it in this slot right here. Trying to do this recording here. Wire only. You don't have to squeeze super hard. As you can see, it rolls them both over. That could have went a little bit more forward. This is just demonstration purposes. There you go. So let's do the double. Double, you're going to use the double crimp tool. And you see how these ears are kind of bent out. You got to kind of square them up because they won't fit. They won't fit in the tool. I don't know why, but it's just the way they make them. So kind of square that up a little bit, about like that. This one too. Now we're going to take both our wires. Could probably strip it a little more. Okay. Both wires in there same time, just like that. There you go. It crimped copper wire only. It didn't crimp the housing. So now this lower thing here is to crimp the housing. Oop. Need to glue my camera down. There you go. Double crimp. 2 wires in one. That's what you use if you have to jump. Jump the tail lights or jump the brake lights or the reverse lights. And like I say, this can slide in and it's just going to click. There we go. And it's in. Just how GM wanted it. You can take this out. You just have to press that little tab down. You can reuse the connector, but they give so many that we have extras. So this is just scrap. So now we can get on into the video of wiring up this rear body harness on the 60. Alright, so what we got done so far is I wrapped from the plug, the rear body harness plug there, all the way to the back in cloth tape, all the way through the back seat area. And I tucked it. Kind of hard to see. I don't know if this is where it was at from the factory, but I thought it was a good spot. It runs up in here, through here, and there's some clips right here, 2 of them that, boom, pop out right here. If your car don't have these clips, I doubt the camera's gonna pick it up, but maybe. You can buy them. You can buy those clips. So also I plugged in the tail lamps. Driver side, passenger side. Okay, so now we're getting ready to sort out our wiring. We ran the third brake light, which is blue, and the fuel sender, which is tan. Brake light right here. We're just gonna let this one kind of hang out until I get the Continental kit installed. Tan, fuel sender right here. I'm gonna have to find which one of these grommets is for the fuel sender and poke it through. Might have to extend it. I guess essentially I should have not wrapped it up all the way, but we can always extend it. It's not the problem. Okay. Next up, license plate lamps have been provided for you. Plug this into connector. These are the license plate lamps. Lead H, 2 of them. Probably won't be using these, but we can at least run the wires to the Continental kit if we run a license plate lamp on the Continental kit. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Brown, okay, brown running lights. Route this wire to the left-hand tail light, to the left-hand tail lamp, cut to length, double this wire with the cutoff portion, install terminal D, which is a double D. And plug into connector E, which is right under it. In location shown on sheet 1, route the loose end of the brown wire to the license plate lamp area. Cut to length, double the wire cutoff portion. Okay, so install terminal D, which is another double. Okay. Plug into connector L, which is a single, one of these, and that's essentially going to plug into this. I'm trying to do this here with one hand, but essentially it's going to plug into like that with a terminal in it. Okay. Install terminal D and plug in connector L as shown on sheet 1. Route the loose end of the brown wire to the right hand tail lamp area. Cut to length. Install terminal C, which is a single. And plug into connector E, which is another double. So basically what's that saying is that the wire for the tail lamp is going to go from that light, it's going to jump to this light, which essentially these are already jumped. So you're going to plug into here, brown to brown. It's going to loop over here to the license plate light area. It's going to loop to the other license plate light area. It's going to loop over here to this brown and plug in there. So when you hit your tail light switch, both outers on the driver and passenger side and your license plate lamp are going to light up. That's a simplified version. So this is where I was talking about you need double wire terminals and double wire crimp tool, because you're going to essentially loop the wire. So we're going to terminate the brown wire right here, and we're going to plug it into this, but it's going to be 2 wires coming out over here, 2 wires over here, 2 wires over here, 1 wire over there. Now these spade connectors, like I say, they're single wire or double wire, but they both fit into these. They're the same. So let me get that crimped and I'll bring you guys back. All right, so we got the brown wire crimped and terminated all the way to the passenger side. So it's kind of a mess right now. I just need to clean it up. But basically we got brown double crimped. It's going to plug into this. Okay. Then it's going to jump to the license plate light, which I had to take the Continental kit latch out. And basically we're just going to leave this hanging some sort. I probably won't even be using this socket, but at least we have the wire ran. And then we also have the third brake light if I wanted to do something custom on the Continental kit. And I just got them coming out where the original license plate lens is. It actually has some sand still in there from sandblasting. And then then it comes out and it runs to here, and it's a single crimp with the plastic connector, and it's going to correlate with over here. So now that we got the brown done, we're moving right along. Next up is going to be yellow, which is going to terminate at the driver's side only. If I would, without reading the instructions, route this wire to left-hand tail lamp, cut to length, install terminal C, which is a single. Single wire, and plug into empty cavity on connector E, and then plug the pigtail to the light. So that's real easy. Single wire crimp, like I said, single wire crimp tool, yellow. It's yellow right here. We got about 2 feet extra. I'll bring you guys back once I get that crimped. All right, so we got the yellow single crimp going to the same connector that shares it with the brown, which is going to the driver's side tail light. That's going to plug in like that. We're going to get it all tucked away, cleaned up. Next is green. Repeat the same thing. These wires are labeled, guys. It's pretty straightforward. It says, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, right rear turn. So we're going to have to run it the same way we ran the brown, through here, over here, to a single terminal crimp, and it's going to plug into this right here, and it's going to plug into this right here. So let me get that hooked up and I'll bring you guys back. All right, so we got that done. What was it? The green to the green, brown to brown, and that's our right side running lamps. Next up is going to be light green. So that's backup lens, or backup tail lamps, backup lamps. So this kit comes with the pigtails already for the bulbs. They just pop in. 1, 2. Okay, that's going to correlate, I would imagine, with this green wire right here. So it's the same process. On the driver's side, it's going to get terminated. The instructions are right here, but I'm going to go over them real quick without the camera. The green wire is going to get terminated into a double crimp to this to plug into the tail lamp, or the reverse lamp, I should say. It's going to jump on over to the passenger side with a single crimp and terminate there and plug into that. And that's it. So green wire, green wire, terminate, plug into here. I'm trying to record this with one hand. And then it's going to double up and jump on over to here. So a lot of these wires are going to be running in through here. Just like that, all the way. We're going to tape it when we're done. And I believe that's the last wire, other than the gas. So let me get this section knocked out, bring you guys back. All right, so that's a wrap. That's a wrap for the rear body harness, at least what we did right now. Basically, I kind of just cloth taped this stuff up, tucked it away. This is going to be the fuel sender gas tank, so we're probably going to have to extend this whenever we do install the gas tank. I left that with the grommet, and the connector. So, and I don't even know if the new gas tank even uses that type of connector, so I just taped it in there. Same over here, just use cloth tape. This design, it has them come up here and then drop down, so it's kind of impossible to not see the wires unless you go all the way up, but then there's nothing to hold it. So just the cloth tape kind of blended in a little bit. License plate light, like I said, probably won't even use this on the Continental kit. But the wire's here and it'll be hot whenever everything gets hooked up. Third brake light, may or may not use it, but it's hooked up. So just to recap here, we cloth tape there. I like the cloth tape because it kind of gives it a cleaner look. So that's going to do it for this rear body harness. I guess when I bring you guys back, we'll be doing the convertible top and maybe some under the dash. I haven't quite figured out. I'm waiting on the computer harness, ECU or ECM or whatever you want to call it, but the convertible top can be ran. So if you guys enjoyed this little tutorial here, not a professional, but that's how I've done it. And also another tech tip here is I don't throw anything away. I keep the instructions, I keep all the leftover connectors, which they send you a bunch, I don't throw it away until, you know, I wouldn't throw anything away until the car is driving down the street, but I keep them. I have a box full of this stuff, so they send you plenty in case you mess up and have to redo something. You got spares. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Y'all stay tuned for more work. Thanks for watching.